From the beginning, it started with our pastor, Jeff Brinkman, talking with Aaron Brown actually the night of the tornado. And by Monday morning, Jeff Brinkman had us in a staff meeting to determine what our role was going to be and what we would be doing from that point forward in order to help not just the congregation of St. Paul's, but also the entire community of Joplin. It was off and on as to at what point we would go down the week after the tornado, and a group of 8 of us went down on Friday and worked to help St. Paul's find about 150 people in their congregation that they had not heard from yet. And so we separated out into 3 different cars and went door to door trying to find the people that they hadn't heard from, to find what state their house was in, whether or not they were okay, and if they had left a note as to where they could be located, then we passed that information on to the staff at St. Paul's. And from that point forward, after that weekend, we started sending teams twice a week, starting on Tuesdays until Thursday, and then a team Friday to Sunday. And we've been doing that since the weekend, right? Or since about 2 weeks after the tornado. And it's been constant the entire time. Sometimes there's only 1 to 3 people that may be down there, but we've only missed 1 week since May that we haven't had anyone. The really amazing thing that has happened is as our people go down the first time, they are wanting to go back. So first time people, we've probably had somewhere around 180 go a first time. But then beyond that, we've had people who are making friends with homeowners and people that want to get family back in their house by Christmas. And so there are several people that have been 8 or more times since June trying to help not only the people that they've met, but just trying to help the entire community, because they know and have seen how vast the devastation is and want to do something to help those families get back into their homes.
Great. Can you say a word about why your church is doing this?
Absolutely. In the very beginning, it was our response to a disaster that was only 2.5 hours away from our church. But as this has grown and as it's moved forward, it's truly become something that we are absolutely motivated to go and help people out of our love for Christ. It's an extension of that love that we get from Him and the relationship that we have with Him that we can share with other people. It's not about getting anything out of it for us. It's about doing something for someone that is a complete stranger solely because you have that much love from Christ overflowing.
Super.
My first trip down to Joplin was early June, and at that time we were taking down some chain link fence. There was a lot of debris removal that we were doing, and we would go down there for about 3 or 4 days, and I was the team coordinator at the time. And before I went, I felt like I'm not sure that I can really help down here. I was going as the team leader, wasn't sure what that was all about, but I soon found that there is so much to do down there, and all it is going down there, asking what the needs are, and doing the best that you can to see that those needs are met. I did that a couple of times in June, then went back July 4th weekend, and from then on I've been there every month and continue to help in any way that I can. I love to paint, so I've had some painting projects that I've been on, but I've also done, I learned how to hang siding, I learned how to install sheetrock, and now I'm helping with as a volunteer coordinator. I go down there every Thursday through Saturday and help in any way that I can with the volunteers as they come in and help see that everybody gets to the projects that we have for them and try to match their skills and make sure that everybody's happy, but also that the homeowner is taken care of. A lot of people ask me why I keep going, and the reason is because there is such a need. I think a lot of people think that Joplin after 6 months should be rebuilt and people are in their homes and everyone is happy, and that isn't the case. There is so much work to be done, and we need the volunteers there to do that. I was there this weekend, and we only had a handful of volunteers, and we had met two different homeowners that have been dealing with this storm since the beginning for 6 months now, living in a house that doesn't have a kitchen. Neither of them had their kitchen. One, their restroom was even not intact, and they've been dealing with this for 6 months because we don't have enough help coming down to take care of them. We've had teams come in over the 6 months. They'll work on a project for a few days, and then we have to wait until we have enough volunteers to take them back to that same home. So any help that we can get, whether you're skilled or unskilled, if we have a skilled worker there, we will train any unskilled person to do what needs to be done. So you may feel like you don't have a gift to bring to Joplin, but I think even if it's coming to just visit with the homeowner, that's also important. Well, a lot of people in my congregation are aware of what I'm doing down there, and on Sunday mornings in the foyer they stop me, they ask me questions, they want to know where we are in Joplin and if there's anything that they can do to help, and I know that some people can't go, but I know that those people are praying for all of the teams that are going, and I know that Woods Chapel feels blessed to have the volunteers that they are able to send. I keep going back to Joplin because there is a need. I have met homeowners there, and the relationships that you build with those homeowners is something that is indescribable. Another reason that I go back, I think a lot about all those people that are praying for someone to come and help them. And what an awesome blessing to me that God chooses me to be the one to go to do that. The day after the storm, our pastor Jeff talked to Aaron down at St. Paul's Church and was just asking, what can we do? And Aaron at the time was, a lot of times we didn't even have cell service, and I remember sitting in that staff meeting and Jeff was trying to text Aaron and not getting a response and trying to find out how can we best go and help them. And a couple days I think had to go by before we were able to work it out, but immediately then we started sending a team down just to help that church, and they went out and they went door to door or lot to lot. A lot of times there weren't even doors, but they went lot to lot to see if they could find homeowners that they could help and get as much information as they could. And from there, we have been with St. Paul, partnered with them for 6 months now. And our plan is to continue to do that until Joplin is rebuilt. And we've expanded from St. Paul out to help any church that we can, any homeowner that we can. And I just hope that the people in Joplin know that we are there until the end. Every Sunday morning we have a 90-second spotlight on missions, and have been doing a lot of updates on Joplin and keeping the congregation informed on what's going on, where we are, what the needs are, and how they can help.
Okay. Yeah, I went down there with the first group that we sent down from Woods Chapel, which was like 2 weeks after the tornado. And you just saw the total devastation down there. It reminded me more of a hurricane than a tornado. It's just so huge. And in the first phases, we were cleaning up and doing a lot of debris removal. But what we started also doing is bonding and finding these families that, to me, were just awesome. They lost everything, but still had the spirit of, hey, they wanted to come back, and all they needed was some help. And so it kind of sunk into me that, I've got so much, we've been blessed so much, and these people are struggling so much that I thought, hey, how can I help? And I just retired at the end of the year. I was a project manager for a large engineering construction company, so I saw a need, and I thought, well, these people need help, I can help them. So initially I was going down helping, doing building, construction, anything I could do. Started going to almost going every week. And the relationships and stuff we developed, not only with the people down there, but the volunteers. You never meet better people than you do with volunteers that come into this. These people are giving vacation time up. They're giving up time with their family to come down and help people. And I think that's been almost a bigger blessing for us sometimes than it is actually the work you give, that you're doing for the people down there. So, and as I've got into this, we just see so many needs, for every one need you find there, and we find couples, we know there's how many other people out there that are still needing the help that we're trying to provide. So all I can say is we can use people of all skills, trades, crafts, inexperience. We found, hey, we teach. If you can't do it, we teach you. That's kind of the mode we're trying to do down there. And quite honestly, the effort's dropped off a bit, I think, because it's gotten out of the press. And I think some people think it's fixed. And you get in and you find out this is years of recovery, and it's going to be going on. I'd like to say it's 2 or 3 years at least before this is going to be fixed. And that's going to be if we get a lot of effort and a lot of people down to fix it. So all I can tell people is, hey, if you can come and help us rebuild Jopin. I have been I was always, quite honestly, too busy in the workplace to do missions. I hadn't, other than a little bit of Habitat, I'd never really done any mission work because, quite honestly, it was one of those jobs that I was just busy all the time. And once I hit this, it's kind of like I've never really been in a disaster area like this, and what I've seen for a way of reaffirming your faith when you start getting into a disaster area, because I think you see what I kind of call the footprints of God everywhere down there. And every time I go, I almost find something new to reaffirm your faith. Things we need, it's amazing. We need something, and the phone rings. I've never seen anything like it. Things just, we needed rakes. A group from Oklahoma comes in and leaves 50 rakes. Day after, we said we need more rakes. It's just, little things, but there's just, it happens, just multitude of them every day. We kind of call them the God things. They just happen to continue, and I think you see them around those type of issues more than you ever see when you're just in our day-to-day life. I never saw him in business because, I don't think he worries about us too much in those regards, but these people, he's there to help. So I think I do it because, quite honestly, I can, and, I think it's what God wants us to do. I just think we need to get the message out that, hey, we need all the people we can get, and I think then we need to get the organizational structure in place to make sure that we make everybody that comes down. I want to make it a good experience for them, and that they feel like they gave something to Joplin that was unique, their gift. We've been emphasizing to get, if a guy comes down and he's an electrician and we want to put him to work doing the gift he can give. And I think that's key, and that's something we're striving for now, is to get organized where we can really make sure everybody comes down and it meets the expectation of their visit, so they want to come back.
My involvement in Joplin, I started out going as a team member, and since I have led 2 teams down to Joplin on weekends, and now we have changed our focus a little bit, and most of my trips to Joplin just involve a day trip, and I will leave early in the morning and drive down and work for the day and then come back that night. So some of the focus has changed. I usually use my days off from work to go down, and lately it's been a one-day thing. The three-day trips are the best because you work for 2 days, and then on Sundays you worship with the people that you're helping rebuild their lives and their homes. The reason I go to Joplin is I just see the need of people, and that I, even with limited abilities and talents, I can do certain things to help them. I know that if I was ever in need, that I would have people coming to help me, so I just try to take the proactive stance and go first. The people are so receptive to anyone coming and helping them. They're so appreciative. The people of Joplin are just fantastic people. They're full of gratitude. They're have never lost their focus on who God is and what His role is in their lives. And I've never seen a more grateful people. Some people hesitate to go to Joplin because they don't feel like they're skilled or qualified enough, and I'd just like to let you know that you don't have to be a craftsman, you don't have to be an electrician, a plumber. If you want to do physical work, there's so much to do. You can, in our time in Joplin, I have been hooked up with electricians, I've been hooked up with sheetrockers, and I can't complete the project myself, but I can help them do the project. So don't not go to Joplin because you don't feel like you have the qualities to go down. If you have the heart and the desire, there are things that anyone can do that goes down there.